UFC Fight Night, Barboza versus Murphy. We're going to break down the entire fight card. I'm going to give you my picks. And before we do that, guys, one small request. If you can, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment. Let me know what you think below. Who do you pick and why? And yeah, now before we start, I want to go over the last card, UFC St. Louis. It was a really good card for me, and I want to go over what I did and how it went for me. Let's start with the first fight. We got Veronica Hardy and JJ Aldrich. A really close fight, I would say. Veronica Hardy is looking really good. I think that the fact that she married Dan Hardy and she's with him probably many hours of the day, each and every day, that really helped her game, her strategy. And you know, it shows. She looked fast. She had good takedown defense. When she was taking down, she stayed active. Yeah, her future looks good. She also improved a lot in her strength and conditioning. So I'm really high on Veronica Hardy in the future. Next fight, we had Charles Johnson and Jake Hadley. And I told you guys I'm picking Johnson, and I put a unit on him, and man, it worked out great. The thing is that Jake Hadley was the perfect combination of a fighter for Charles Johnson to win. Why? Because his striking is not that good and his wrestling is not that good. We know Charles Johnson is the much better striker. We knew that he improved his takedown defense because he was having fights with mostly wrestlers who were just better wrestlers than Jake Hadley. He looked phenomenal, got the win. He was an underdog, and we cashed him. Next fight was a fight that I think I told you guys I like Goff. I didn't bet on this fight. But man, Goff showed how of a dog he is. It was a very good fight. There was an illegal knee there that the ref just stood there and did nothing. I like what I saw from Goff. I think he just had a hard time managing the distance with Trey Waters, who's a very long, lanky guy for his division. With that being said, you know, it was a good fight. It was fight of the night. Really, both of them showed how good they are. But Trey Waters definitely won. Next fight, we had Tabitha Ricci against Ticia Pennington. This was a robbery. Daylight robbery. Pennington was the much better fighter overall. All that Tabitha did was trying to take her down, and she couldn't. Even in the last round, Pennington took her down 2 times with that judo throw. She pieced her up with the striking. She was much better, and somehow she lost. Like, the fucking referees, the judges are... I really wish we get to the day where they replace those useless judges with AI or something, because they are so inconsistent. Sometimes they take damage, sometimes they take control time. It's really criminal. I had a live bet on Pennington in the fight, and she was like minus 900 at some point towards the third round, the end of the third round. Yeah, but it is what it is. This is the sport. Hopefully they will fix this in the future. Next fight, we had a tremendous fight. We had Ribovic against McKinney. Coming up to this fight, I really didn't know who's going to win, but I told you I'm taking the under, and man, it worked well because Ribovic knocked him out with a tremendous leg kick to the face. You know, at this point, I really feel bad for McKinney because I don't know how you can continue being a fighter when you have no chin. It's like every time his chin gets touched, he goes to sleep. And you saw fighters like Matt Schnell that has the same problem, and you can't go to the higher levels because all the guys at the higher level will find that chin. So the under was a good pick. Next fight we had Chase Hooper against Borshev. I'll be honest, I thought Borshev would win. I wanted to put my money on Borshev, but I didn't do it because I just felt like I don't know what the outcome could be, because Chase Hooper is a phenomenal grappler. And I was like, when I was thinking of making a bet, I was more afraid of Chase Hooper taking him down. But at the end, he knocked him down. So he even showed he improved his striking coming into this fight, because he found Borshev's chin and Borshev just got knocked down, and then Chase was all over him, and when it got to the ground, you knew it's Chase all day. He's a phenomenal grappler. I think that this fight should have been stopped way earlier. But yeah, good for Chase Hooper. He definitely was the better fighter. Next one, we had Robelis Despain and Waldo Cortez Acosta. And I think everyone would agree that Despain is not that good. He hasn't shown that he's very smart as well. And the hype train is probably gonna be over here. Like, Acosta was trying to tempted him to get closer so he could get the takedown, and instead of Robelis just staying in the outside at the outside and kicking and using his reach, he went closer to Acosta, and that ended up in him losing. He showed he has a chin, but he's very lacking when it comes to his grappling game. If he would work on it, man, he could be a problem. But as of now, he was exposed. Next fight, my man Sean Woodson. This was my highest confident pick on the fight. Woodson, man, such a great striker, great takedown defense, very smart. I picked him to win by decision. I had a few units on him, and he got the win, man. He got it by decision. I told you guys he's more of a 1,000 cuts guy than a one punch knockout. And we knew Caceres had a good chin, so I wasn't thinking that he would knock out Caceres. But man, Woodson, I think he's gonna be a problem at 145. That reach is a problem to many fighters, and he has phenomenal takedown defense, and that's like the only place that I would see Woodson having problems. And we saw that with McKinney, but since then he really improved his takedown defense. Next one, we got Diego Ferreira and Mateusz Rebecki. I think I said Rebecki, but man, Ferreira showed a chin. Not only showed a chin, he showed how good of a gas tank he has, because in the third and the second round, towards the end of the second round, he pieced up Rebecki. Like, there was this viral photo of Rebecki in the hospital after the fight. He got completely broken down. That was insane. Yeah, that's the thing, many people got Rebecki as a parlay piece. I wasn't one of them. I actually bet on Ferreira live, and yeah, he looks phenomenal. Next fight, we have Carlos Ulberg and Alonzo Manfield. We had Carlos Ulberg and Alonzo Manfield. I was disappointed just because I wanted to see them actually fight, but Manfield just ran towards Ulberg like a fucking idiot, and he got caught. Like, what the hell were you doing? Like, I don't know. It was just weird. Yeah, Wahlberg is a really good kickboxer, but I expected some more of a IQ move, higher IQ move than Manfield. Yeah, next fight we had Buckley and Norston Ruziboyev. I said to myself, don't make a bet because I really didn't know what's gonna happen. I actually thought that Ruziboyev is gonna win, but Buckley wrestling actually was the reason that Ruziboyev lost, in my opinion. He controlled him. He managed to take him down when Ruziboyev hurt him. And yeah, good for Buckley. I did have a live bet on Ruziboyev during the fight, but I cashed out when I saw he's just fading when it came to the third round. Yeah, but I don't think we saw... Like, I'm not saying this is the end of Ruziboyev. He's still a good striker, but he was very low volume. It's like he was very hesitant to start something, maybe because of how explosive Buckley is. With that being said, yeah, good for Buckley. Last fight, Derek Lewis and Rodrigo Nascimento. I told you guys that I'm picking Nascimento. I changed my mind during, when I've done more research. I did pick Derek Lewis. I made a bet on Derek Lewis, which I cashed out at the second round because he has shown zero IQ. He was trying to grapple Rodrigo Nascimento, but then, you knocked him out in the third round, and I couldn't cash the bet. It is what it is. Like, you really don't know what you're going to get from Derek Lewis. Like, I can't understand why fighters are trying to be good where they're bad. Like, Derek Lewis' bread and butter is his striking, but for some reason he tried to grapple a grappler for the first two rounds. With that being said, guys, we move on to the card this week. We got Barboza versus Murphy. Let's start with the first prelim. We have Emily Ducote and Vannessa Demopulous. I'm really... I don't know what to tell you here. This is going to be a close fight. We got Vannessa, who's more of a grappler. She got a win against Kanako Morata. I didn't think she won that fight. I don't know how the judges gave her that win. But now she's taking Emily Ducote. She lost to Lupita Godinez. She lost to Angela Hill. She lost to good competition. And now she's taking Vannessa at Demopulous, which is not at the level of the girls that Ducote lost to. I think that Emily is the better striker. I think she has the better overall game. She's coming from American top team. They know how to prepare fighters for fights like this. And I think Ducote is going to win. I don't think Vannessa Demopulous is going to be able to grapple with her or out-grapple Emily. So I'm picking Emily to win. It's not a fight that I'm gonna bet on. If there's something I will do here, it's probably take the over. Okay. Next fight we got Kleydson Rodrigues and Alten. However, Altelong. Probably said it bad. I like the Chinese to win here. Sorry, is he Chinese? Is the Mongolian knight is from China. The reason for that is Kleydson Rodrigues lost to Vergara. He won against Shannon Ross. That's nothing to be proud of. He won against him, but Shannon Ross has no chin. He lost to Farid Basharat. I think that the Mongolian knight has the ability to knock out Kleydson Rodrigues, who I'm pretty sure got knocked out before. No, he wasn't knocked out. This is actually gonna be very close. I'm not gonna bet on this fight. We got two strikers, and I just think that Alateng Lee has the power advantage, and the only way I see him winning against Kleydson Rodrigues was he's a fast striker, is maybe if he managed to take him down and control him. This is a stay away from me. I'm gonna pick Kleydson Rodrigues to win here, but it's a stay away. Next fight, we got Piera Rodrigues and Ariane Carnelossi. This is another stay away from me. I don't know why Rodrigues is such a heavy favorite. Like, the only people that Ariane lost were Angela Hill, Godinez. I think at least in the UFC. Did she have any other losses? I don't know. Yeah, she also lost by decision to some Amanda Ribas. She won against Bruna Brazil, way back. She has a win against Caitlin Souza. Okay, that's not very impressive. This is gonna be an interesting one. She won against Nally Yang. Okay. She won against Itzela Nunes. Piera Rodrigues, she's a higher level than who she won against. She did lose to Jillian Robertson, but that's, that submission game of Robertson is really good. I don't know, man. Very hard for me to pick. I think it's going to be very close, but I'll go with the underdog just for the sake of the video. I'm not going to bet on this fight, but I'm going with the underdog. Next fight, we got Abus Magomedov against Warlley Alves. I like Magomedov here. He has shown that he can go 3 rounds after that loss he had to Sean Strickland. He had a good fight against Caio Borraio. A lot of back and forth. What I wanted to see there is that he could actually worked on his gas tank and he don't gas out in the first round like he did with Sean Strickland. Alves, man, he had a good run at some point in the UFC, but it seems like this run came to an end. Four of his last 5 fights he lost. Split decision with Dalby, that's good, but Ikram just killed him in their fight. I don't know what we're going to get from Magomedov. I think that if he actually bleaches him in the first round, he can actually knock him out. With that being said, I would like to see a more careful approach. He has the reach advantage. I think he could piece him up from the outside. I'm picking Magomedov to win here. I wouldn't be surprised if he knocks him out. Next fight, we got Melissa Gatto and Tamires Vidal. This is another fight where I'm very split on. I'm not very split. I'm actually very confident. I think that Gatto's gonna win. She's the much better fighter in my opinion. She lost only to really good competition, Cortez and Ariane Lipski, and we can argue about the Ariane Lipski loss. I think that Tamires Vidal is not close to where Gatto is. Overall, Gatto is the much better fighter. She lost to Montserrat Rondon, who looked terrible in her last fight. I'm picking Gatto to win here. She can win in any way, whether it's going to be submission, knockout. But I am leaning on her winning by decision. But that's my pick. Next fight, we got Oumar Sy and Tukus, whoever that guy is. I like Oumar Sy here to win. We got 2 debuters, one coming out of Fury, this guy coming out of KOF. I just think that Oumar Sy is the more well-rounded fighter. I think that he has advantage everywhere, especially when it comes to his striking. I think he's the favorite here, as he should. I like the under here as well. With that being said, I'm picking Oumar to win this one. Next fight, we got Tom Nolan fighting Victor Martinez. Okay, so let me tell you something about Tom Nolan. I fell for the hype. I fell for the hype. You know, he was undefeated. I think at least in his professional career. But in his fight against what's his name? Nicolas Mota, he was exposed. He has no chin. The guy has no chin. And, you know, I saw that in his amateur record that he got knocked out. I didn't really watch the fight, but 45 seconds into the third round, that probably should have been a red flag for me. No way I'm putting anything on him. Okay, especially not at that price. He's taking on Victor Martinez, who was knocked out by Jordan Levitt. But he has shown that he has the capability to knock out people in any stage of the fight. Will he knock out Tom Nolan again? Probably not. Probably not. I don't think that's going to happen. But, you know, I cannot risk my money on this chin that is proven not to be there when you need it. So I'm still going to say Tom Nolan is probably going to win by knockout. But you know what? I like the under. Tom Nolan is he's a very explosive fighter. He's like, you look at his wins, round 1, round 2, round 1, round 1, round 1. So he's a kill or be killed kind of fighter. And Victor Martinez, he has a lot of finishes, and he was finished in the first or the second. So the under is looking good here. Next fight, we got Angela Hill and Luana Pinheiro. In Angela Hill last fight, I picked her as the underdog against Denise Gomes. Luana Pinheiro, I'm not really she's shown that she's good, but in her fight against Ribas, she started fading in the third round and got knocked out. I don't think Angela Hill will be able to finish her. She's not as aggressive as Ribas. I think that Angela Hill could win, but Angela Hill is a decision machine. And I see her, she was never knocked out. I see her just cruising to a decision win. But, you know, Luana is good. She touched Ribas at that fight. There was a lot of back and forth, but she managed to, Ribas managed to eventually knock her out mostly because she got gassed. I'm picking Angela to win, but I'm betting the over on this fight. Next, we have Adrian Yanez and Vinicius Salvador. This looks like a mismatch. Vinicius Salvador is 2-0, he lost 2 times, not 2-0. He's 0-2 in the UFC. He won against Shannon Ross, okay, in contender. Shannon Ross has no chin, and he's taking Adrian Yanez. Yanez's last 2 fights were against some of the top people in the division. He fought Font, he got knocked out, and he fought Martinez, he got knocked out by leg kicks. Adrian Yanez should win here by, I would say, dominant fashion. He had really good run in the UFC up to his fight against Rob Font. And he was the favorite in the fight against Rob Font. Won against Victor Rodrigues, Lopez, Costa, Tony Kelly, Davy Grant. I don't understand this fight. I really don't. I'm picking the under here. I think the under would be live here because Vinicius is dangerous. Okay. He is dangerous. That being said, I would probably pick Yanez to win better than I would pick the under, just because, man, Yanez's boxing is on a different level when you compare it to this guy. What's his name? When you compare it to Salvador. Next fight, we got Ramiz against Themba Gorimbo. This is an interesting fight. I really don't know what's gonna happen here. Gorimbo had a good performance against Rodrigues. He just knocked him out. Managed to get the decision win against Takashi. Lost to AJ Fletcher, who's not in the UFC, I think, by now. And he's taking Ramiz that had a few wins as well, had a few losses. I don't know, man. This should be a very close fight. I think that Themba Gorimbo would have the advantage when it comes to his wrestling, his chain grappling. This could go either way. Both fighters are good, but I think that in the striking department and the jiu-jitsu, Ramiz has the advantage. Therefore, I'm picking him to win, and you get him as the underdog. So that's another plus. Next one, we got Khaos Williams and Carlston Harris. We got here a striker versus a wrestler, a grappler, I would say. Man, Carlston Harris didn't look good in his fight against Jeremiah Wells. Jeremiah Wells was killing him until he got caught with the anaconda choke in the third round, which gave Harris the submission. But let me tell you something, Harris wasn't winning that fight. Now, Khaos Williams is definitely the better striker. He has the ability to knock Carlston Harris. Will he be able to do it? I don't know, man. It reminds me of a last fight card. We had a grappler against a striker with Slava Claus and the kid, what's his name? You know who I'm talking about. I just talked about this fight. Chase Hooper. With that being said, I wouldn't say Harris is the grappler that Hooper is. I don't know, man. This is probably a stay away from me. I'm gonna lean Khaos Williams. He was never subbed before, and he is dangerous. He can catch Harris. So give me Khaos Williams to win. He also have the reach advantage. I think he can get it done. Main event, we got Lerone Murphy and Edson Barboza. Edson Barboza showed how much of a dog he is in his last fight against Sodiq Yusuff. He's very dangerous when you let him find his rhythm with his striking. Lerone Murphy is not the wrestler that Khabib is, for example, who won against Edson Barboza. And in the striking department, I don't think it's gonna be close. In the wrestling, I see that as the only path for him to win. But that could be close. Edson Barboza is 38 years old. I don't know. This is gonna be a very close fight in my opinion. I'll pick Barboza as the underdog. Probably not gonna bet this fight. There's just too many unknowns here. Lerone Murphy, he is a good fighter, but Barboza is better than the competition that he had so far. He's an experienced fighter, very good striker. This could really end either way. With that being said, I'm gonna pick Barboza to win. Now let's talk about the safety parlay for you guys who want to make a bet that should be safe, but you know, nothing is safe when you're betting. I would pick, I like the over on the fight between Angela Hill and Luana Pinheiro. I like Gatto to win, and I like the over on the fight between Ducote and Demopulous. So over, Gatto, over here. That's my picks, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think. Who do you like? Who you don't like? Do you agree, disagree? I would love to hear your opinion in the comments. And I will see you in the next one.